Hello. Hello. Kiri, congrats on first bugger. Hua. Hua. It is Wednesday. Yay. And I am my usual. 3 days is my limit. For working. But yeah. Quite googly moogly. Hope people were able to get some decent sleep. Oh. Ma. I tried to figure why it briefly lags when it does the boop. And I think it's because of what I said. I hope you're doing well though. Clicky click. But yeah. Wednesday. Already. And yes. I just want to rest more. I always want to rest. Like, especially if I want to take time off as well. Any lengthy period, I get in the habit of resting. Oh! There you go. One poke to the nose and it works. Raijin, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. My sleeps have been very weird this week. Hello, Midnight. Welcome. Like, very all over the place. Rest. Oh, my tails. Whoosh. There you go. Yeah, very all over the place. And then when it sort of felt like I had decent enough rest, I don't know. I ended up going to bed a bit later. 3 AM. It sucks if you have to get up soon. I think my ears might be very deaf today. I can't tell. I remembered. It's okay. I forgot I set this to mono. That's why it sounds... well, that's why it's coming out of both. I forgot about that. There we go. Yes, I'm through one ear, but now I'm louder. I wondered why it sounded quiet. Yeah. 4 to 5 is my go-to for the weekdays. The weekend, though, I sleep in. There's no way I'm not gonna rest in. Yeah, I should only be on the right ear. I have a habit of staying on the right ear, which explains a lot. If I set it to mono, well, it's probably like you're supposed to turn up the gain. But if I do that, the background noise becomes a lot more apparent. I can alternate though, although I kind of don't. Do you ever get it where it feels like there's a hair on your nose somewhere? Like, you know, when it falls off. And then you sort of just brush it off, cause as you do, but then it doesn't come off, and you're like, what the hell? And then it turns out you were just sort of trying to move the wrong area. Like, I keep having that. On the way back from work though, it felt like I could have just dozed off. Oh, I didn't check messages. If I don't do it now, I will most definitely forget to do it later. Okay, all is good. That is fine then. I did debate whether or not to put a yawn thingy. I feel like I should just add things in case, and if people use them, they use them. As I do tend to yawn a lot, with ASMR especially. Have a good rest. Hope you managed to have a good one. Thank you for the head pats, Rocky. Hello. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Oh, the good old waiting. I'm glad you're doing good. And yeah, I'm doing alright. Not long back from work, so resting time. Aye aye. The Japanese epic. Yeah, no. Do your best to hold out until it's actual sleep time. was the Japanese earpick. Oh yeah, one of the keyboards was weird at work. It didn't have the QWERTY layout. It had QWERTZ. The Y and the Z were swapped, but only those two. It was strange. And then when you look at what the keyboard is meant to be running on, it was on English, but I don't know if it was on, well, it certainly wasn't on the right English. There's like many different Englishes, surprisingly. But yeah, very strange. The Z and the Y being flipped. I know they can be moved, like different keys can be moved for different ones, but usually it's a handful of keys, not just one. Hey Big Chum. The dangers of listening to relaxing things when you're tired. I tend to find it like, if I'm at my desk, it's okay, but if I'm like laying down or anything, yeah, that's probably means I will doze off somewhere. It is kind of you to say. As long as people find it or get something out of the ASMR, then yay. And understandable, Big Chum. Emotional. I see, I see. Well, so far I am getting, well, if I was to say I'm getting tired of this year, that makes it sound bad. I just mean in the literal sense. It's like, what, 2 weeks in and I'm very tired. Maybe that's just work things. I see. You do tend to think a lot. I remember when I would overthink of things, and yeah, being bored doesn't really help it. But it's obviously difficult to find something to distract yourself. Hey Pam, McMinn, how has your rest been? And yeah, I've been well. Sleep's been a bit all over the place, but yeah. Luckily my sleep isn't really screwed, but I don't know. It's being weird. Like the dreaming side of things that I don't usually remember is like popping up now and again, and it's a lovely amalgamation of things. None of them seem very nice. That's a terrible time to go to bed. That's me on my days off though. uh, like if I have enough substantial days off, I'll, not intentionally, I just happen to end up going to bed around that time. For some reason. And then there were the days where I think it was more of when I had part-time work rather than full-time, but I used to go to bed a lot later. Like 2 or 3 was the usual. And then there'd be days of like 5, and I was like, oh dear god. That was mainly due to FF though. and helping with grinds and stuff. It's the only reason I was up at 5 AM. Although those days it was like, what? Past 5. I do not miss those days. Trying to do gathering in FF when you're basically nodding off on a bed. Oh. Madness. Because at points I would probably doze off. I think there was only a few times that I actually dozed off. But I learned from those days. I also remember having to do autocrafts, which was just simply, you know, oh, hit a macro every time it was ready. Well, obviously it brings up the crafting menu, so it'd be like, select the thing you want to craft, then macro. Which was very time consuming. I think the longest I've stayed up though is 2 and a bit days though. Because I was trying to convince people to talk to one another. Which was, yeah, that took at least a day. And then the second day was they were finally talking to each other, but I don't know, they were like dancing around instead of just meeting, and I was like, oh my god. So I was being like a mediator, but it worked in the end. It worked in the end. I got them to see each other. Although I don't know why. Was a very silly thing for me to do. But, oh well. How has the Ark Raiders been going? I've not had much time to play it. Because initially I was still trying to get through the other games, and then grinding off stream to get things sorted for the next stream. And then I was just like, anyway. Killed some people and died a bit. The usual with those sorts. But as long as it ends up being good fun, like you say, then that's all that matters. Because that's the point of those games. Well, that's the point of games in general, but... Hi Rain! Hello! welcome in. How do you do? How are you doing? I hope you've been able to get good rest so far. Sleeps have been a bit all over the place. You're staying home? Well, yay for home. I hope it's nothing horrendous, but yeah, do get hopefully a massive amount of sleep that you need. Glorious sleep. And yawning. Hop 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 hop. Pochi pochi. Click click click. We all need the good sleep. I don't know about forever, but it can be nice to have those times. There's a reason having, you know, good times, boring times, and the like. You're able to enjoy the good bits more. Not that it probably matters. But I always found that odd, especially the ones that end up being like locked in there and then no one visits them. It's like, then how do they get food? How do they survive every day? Especially the ones that end up just sort of sleeping and not doing anything. It's like, well, like you're not hooked up to anything, so you would just die. How do none of these princesses never die? But again, that's probably reading too much into those kind of things. They'll probably just say someone comes over and gives them a basket of goods, but you never hear about it, so as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't happen. I mean, you can say what you like in your own mind, regardless of what people say. Your thoughts are your own. Glorious, glorious bubbles. I feel like that may vaguely sound familiar to me. Sounds like you need to leave your bed. Whenever I feel like the bed's trying to pull me back in, I purposely force myself out. I'm like, nope. Not being stuck to my bed. As much as I love to have more rest. God, youngins these days. This is why you need to find your own strength of things. Because relying on others is, well, depends on the person. That's definitely a you problem. Although the times thing can't be helped. But the laziness is definitely to do with you, so. That's semi-true. For me. Ironically, if I get too thirsty as well, that forces me out of bed. Because I'm like, I need a drink. I need... I need to, you know, do things. That is true. Nobody is forcing you to go. That's why it would be something you have to do. Although I'm the type to grab the things that I need and start doing them. Like, I know I need things from a gym, but I'd rather not go to a gym. So I instead just get the select items of things that I need that I would technically go to a gym for anyway. Because I don't want to pay for a gym. Yeah, that's how I deemed it as well. Like, the items I'm literally getting is still gonna be cheaper than having like a subscription to a gym for, you know, a few months or whatever, or the definitely majority of a year. Because then it's just down to me to be a bit more, you know, active and doing the things. Which which can be difficult. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna get machines. I just need like basic stuff to help with the body. But I also need to eat more. I don't really eat much. So, you know, even if the body wanted to grow, I don't think it gets enough to actually do so. So I need to eat more. Oh, doom scrolling. I had to learn what that term meant because I was like, what the hell's that? It's apparently just basically endless scrolling. But that's what they call it on social media. Praise be, I don't bother with social media. Uh, I can do that with art pieces though. There used to be a site which had a lot of like I forget what even was well, anything really. It just had a lot of artwork, anime based, but I say anime based, anime styled based. Um, but they were really nice. I would spend a lot of time going through those in the past, so I guess I did a form of doom scrolling, but just through pictures, not through social stuff. As I do like artwork, so yeah. Even background stuff. There can be some really, really nice background stuff. I bet if someone were to see me, they'd think I'm the type where I don't like to sit still because I can't keep my legs still. It's not that. I'm trying to keep myself awake by shaking my legs. Yuki. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm good. The usual. I am tired. And my sleep has been the strangest I've had in a long while. For like this week. Very strange. Very strange, like, I guess dreams from the tidbits of it that I remember. Oh my word. Congratulations. Go do things. Doesn't matter what. Go do things. That's away from the bed. Heck, make the bed. Make the bed. I hope you're doing well, Yuki. Hope you've been good. Yeah, good stuff. the bed needs a break as well. The most used item of anybody, like a toilet area and a bed, I feel. That is true, but as you've been in your bed, you've definitely had a break from the car. Food, tasty food. I'm hungry. Eat the tasty food. Make the tasty food. Tasty food. I know, but if you stay in the pattern, or if you stay in the habit of forming that pattern, it sucks so hard. It's good to do something away from the bed. Oh, the bed is life. The bed is, but it is just one part of life. Food is life as well. I fancy a drink, actually. I'm going to have a drink. Swallow. You can do it, big chum. I believe. And now I'm thinking of pasta. Specifically, like tagliatelle. Nom nom nom. Never lived in a boring city. I wouldn't know. I never ventured out. I stayed indoors all the time. My PC was my good friend growing up. So I just played a lot of games. but you're not gonna play anything, are you? Doom scrolling doesn't count. Like, there's many things I did while playing games. There's a good variety. Plus, games were very different back then. Like, they weren't afraid to try things. That's for one. That's for one, that's for sure. You got up? Yes. Foods. Glorious foods. Games are very, they do still do their things. It's just there's more crap to wade through. That's the problem. That's why, like, the indie scene is nice, because it's kind of like how things used to be. AAA is just like, look at this formula we've seen done, tried and tested, and we're sticking to it. It's like, great, thanks. Like, there's plenty of nice games. Just, yeah. Good job. You made your bed. Oh, I need to pour some more then. Whoosh. Only had a bit left. Do you drive a manual then? Thank you for the ether charge. An automatic. Or even better than you ain't gotta worry as much with the legs because of the constant switching between what would have been, you know, accelerator and the clutch and all that stuff. Yeah, I assume that's one of the things that happens when you're able to drive, especially if you're in an area that might be like on the smaller side of things. Everyone's just like, take me to this place. Roomies. Your annoying brother, or tell him to go away, or I don't know. I'm guessing he's not old enough to drive yet. Tell him to ride a bike. Everyone can ride a bike. Hello, Sorbs. Hello, hello. You can't ride a bike there? Where was he wanting to go? They go okay. The usual. Good old tiredness. But I'm well. He needs someone to drive him. I don't know how I'd feel if I kept having someone tell me to, you know, drive them somewhere. I'd probably refuse a lot. Depends. He's 14? He's old enough. Not for driving, obviously, but yeah, but he's I don't get how a bike doesn't work. And thank you for the 10 stream streak, Paul. No. Yeah. Glorious, Jim. Go sweat away all the things. I mean, as long as you put in your effort for the fitness, then yeah, then you can kind of do within reason whatever you like. Madness Rain. Madness. Although, yay, for a, same number type of situation of 177, it's like, whoa. Oh, I hope you are doing well, Sorbs. I hope you managed to get some rest. Like, decent enough rest. Everyone's rests have been very wonky. Oh, very nice. Googly moogly indeed. A glorious amount of sleep. rested sounds nice. It's the kind where I could put my lovely cushion pillow thing. It's very soft. Head kind of sinks into it a bit. And eventually you just doze off. That tends to happen on my Fridays. I try to watch things into the early hours of the morning and then I doze off. Shakina, hello. Hello, hello. Of course. I'm like fairly... I could do the same as well, to be fair. I could doze off. But I mustn't. Well, I'd never doze off on stream, because no matter how tired I am, I can never sleep at a desk. I don't know how people do it. I have to lay down. Like, I don't understand how people fall asleep at a desk. My body just doesn't let me do it. Now I'm thinking of food. Something tasty. That's what I would like. Something tasty. Hopefully so. Thank you. That was the water jar. Wibble wobble. Wobble. Wibble. No problem. That was quick. Welcome back. I mean, with enough practice. I mean, as long as the main point of a workout is that it works for you. So whatever ends up working And it's kind of like drawing on cork, I guess. Yeah, it makes it's it's another sound for scratching, so it's nice. Feeling terrible now. No, not terrible. Well, persist at doing something at least. Hey Laurie, welcome in. Ah, I see. Well, then it be time to, like, do something that will help, like, calm you back down again, sort of thing. I see. Yeah, I think, like, if it's something that bothers you, then yeah, you can indeed apologize. It's very hard for me to be loud. Not purely because of this microphone, but yeah, I'm not a very loud person to begin with. Oh, yeah. Good when you have good neighbours, so yeah. My neighbours seemed like a mixed bag. Some were nice, some not so much. But it kind of turned into not so much. Just randomly ended up not really getting on anymore. Don't know why. Didn't say, didn't do anything to offend them. They just suddenly, I don't know, changed. Maybe that was the thing though, because we didn't always keep in contact, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, I prefer people just not know I exist in this place. That works for me. It's good privacy that way then. I used to have a really nice neighbour lady though. Used to have a nice neighbour lady at our old place. She eventually passed away though, from old age. Very nice lady. I believe she was Indian. But like she'd been there since I was like a kid. So yeah, very used to her. She was married to. Never did get to speak to the husband, but apparently he was from Germany. Um, but he did end up like passing some years before her, so it ended up just being her. But we looked after her. Yeah, she ended up having to do something with his family, I believe. But yeah, an old timer. He was very old as well. um, they both lived for like a long while. I do not know their age because I never did ask. Because I was a kid, I wouldn't really think to ask their age at the time. And even on growing up, I didn't think about asking them. I just knew that they were. You could see that they were old, so I was like, oh. But we helped them if they needed a hand with anything. And now and again, she would like make us some foods and give us like some snacks, which was nice. But yeah, nice lady. But yeah, that's long since passed. Yeah, they're also like usually quite understanding as well, which is very helpful. Because there'd be some times of be like, oh, can you? Uh, we won't. The very rare times where we might not have been there to get something important. 'Cause you know, maybe the delivery got delayed, but then they end up just taking it in and holding on to it until we would get back, which was nice. But the rest of our street, Lord knows. Obviously, we had our neighbour on the other side at the time, but yeah, very mixed people we had in that house. I think it went through about 2 or 3 different people. And I grew up in a box room, pretty much. Like a sort of big enough to fit a small, and I mean a small, bed. It wasn't even standard size, single small. It was smaller than that. But you could fit a small bed in there, and then we ended up having like fixed wardrobes things kind of thing. Which storage wise was very nice for me. I had like half a bookshelf kind of thing above my bed, like if you were laying down above your head, that kind of thing. And then if you sat up, then there was storage above your head on the ceiling, so to speak. Okie dokie. I lay down, but try not to get too comfortable. But yeah, have a lay down. You too. Have a good lay down. I was gonna say nap, and then I was like, no, have a good lay down. Oh yeah, my door wasn't a standard door because it would have took too much space when you need to open it. So what I ended up having was a bifold door. So yeah, it was like a standard door, but obviously it folds in half when you open it. So that was very helpful. And then on the side opposite my bed, so you'd have like my for how the size was. Hey Sal, welcome in. For how the size of the old room was, it was like a very very tiny bed, enough width in the middle to fit like a chair with a smidgen of space if you were to like shimmy through, so not very wide. And then you'd have the wall on the other side, which, you know, would have thank you for the head pats. Yeah, the other side had like my PC and my small screen for my console and stuff. Meh. Meh. But it worked. I managed to fit like 3 screens in there, hilariously. I had like my two 19-inch ones, and I think the TV was a bit bigger. I can't remember how much bigger, but it was a bit bigger. Well, it's why it was called a shoebox room, because it was just very small. And I used all the storage I could. And I was very used to having a small space. My current room that I have now is probably like 3 times the size of my old room. Because I've got my bed, I then have quite a gap now. And my desk over here, and my sort of storage area over there. I do think they should have... There's something I've never understood of housing in this country. If we're so... Rooms aren't always the biggest thing, so I'm surprised that like slidey doors are not a thing. Because that would save so much space instead of having to make space for a door opening. I prefer a slidey door. It's just so nice. Like, kinda like Japan's one. It doesn't have to be made out of, in a sense, paper though. It can still be a door, just give me slidey. Give me slidey door. You just need to accommodate for a bit more space on the wall for the slidey bit. It was funny when moving into this one though. Yeah, I helped move like the stuff in. Food? What food do you have, Rain? What is the tasty food? I must imagine it in my head. Me wants food. But yeah, I helped move the stuff in. Like, it was supposed to be just the movers, but the extra help they brought was being kind of useless, so I just helped. Which is good, because we ended up running over the time frame where they would start charging per hour, but because I ended up helping quite a lot, they waived it. So we didn't have to pay for it because I ended up helping. So I was like, haha! Because, well, it wasn't even our fault that it took extra long. It's just we couldn't get the bloody keys initially. Rice, 2 fried eggs with some leftover chicken and curry. Oh, you cheeky man. How dare you have any form of curry. Oh, do enjoy. Do enjoy. I like having like poppadoms and naan breads when I have a curry. I like those. They're nice to have. I think others like to have I've forgotten the bloody name of it. I have nutmeg in my head. It's not Nutmeg. Why the hell is that in my head? It's, it's, what the hell do you have with curry again? I've forgotten. Someone at your house made the curry recently and there's still some in the fridge, so you used a little bit of it to mix into the rice. Tasty and spicy. Interesting. Yay for tasty. It's a curry. It should be tasty. If you're eating a curry and it's not being tasty for you, there is something wrong with that curry. I mean, yeah, I know there's a load of different flavours and different palates for people, but curry should be tasty regardless. Like, oh, I really taste this flavour, but it's just not for me. But that's fine, because as long as that flavour is potent enough, it's like, yep, this is definitely a tasty curry for someone. I'm very bland with mine. I just like tikka masala and what's the other one? It's kind of creamy. I forget the creamy one. Oh, what's it called? Korma. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Tikka masala and is one I like, and korma's not bad either. Uh, the red one. The red one's pretty tasty. You marinate the chicken in it. Tandoori. There we go. Tandoori is nice as well. Although I am picky with the type of tikka masala. I've tried different ones, but I like a very specific tikka masala. Oh, I have had a Japanese curry. Yes, yes, thank you for reminding me. I've had a Japanese curry and I've had a Chinese curry as well. Both are very tasty. Mm, I have had those. I enjoy those a lot. It's just been a very long time since I've ate. Actually, no. No, no, no. It hasn't been like massively long. I've had like a Chinese curry. Uh, Maybe a month or two ago. I have those fairly often. I say Chinese curry. They say it's a Japanese bento box, but as it's a Chinese place making it, and there's a gajillion Chinese food in there, I'm more inclined to say it might be a Chinese curry. But maybe it is just the recipe for a Japanese one. It seems Japanese for what gets added in. Like I get like taco, octopus, sausages, thingies, and egg, and uh, uh, what was it? It's chicken. It's chicken. It's chicken. My brain's going with tonkatsu, but it's not tonkatsu. It's nothing to do with ton. Oh my god. Brain. No, my brain's having a day of just misplacing the wrong information in the wrong slots. Katsu! Oh my god, there we go. Don't mind. The brain is the brain. Yeah, it's katsukare. And it's cut up nicely. I enjoy it very much. It's a tasty meal. I fancy curry. I always get in the mood for some curry. Ironically, I asked last time for some curry, and then it was like, we've got no, we didn't have anything to, like, for the sauce, and it was like, no. It is yummy. I've been fancying noodles lately as well. Like some thick noodles. I don't know what I'd have with them, but I've just been fancying noodles. You know when you end up fancying something so much that you feel like you can taste it in your mouth? I guess the brain's going from a memory of something, but the urge of it is so strong that you, for a second, feel like you taste it and you're just like, oh, I want it. I had that for some noodles. Yeah. If you end up having curry tomorrow, that'll be amusing. Oh, I doubt I'm gonna have anything grand today. We keep having a lot of potato-based things, and I'm like, please. If I get asked what I fancy, I'm just gonna keep saying curry until I get a curry. Chicken curry. I'm pretty sure there's still like enchiladas and fajitas as well to have. Potato day? I had potato yesterday. I seem to have potato fairly often. Oh. Like, it was... It was chips yesterday. What some people might... Chunky chips, actually. Because they were chunky. That's what I had. Because it was either that or mashed. And I was like, no, I'm not in the mood for having mashed. I'm okay with chicken. Actually, no, I have eaten enough where I'm like I my go-to a lot of the time would be chicken and pasta, but there was a time where I was having it so much to the point where I was like kind of struggling to eat it because I just I wasn't feeling it. Chutney. The thing that people like to have with Indian curries usually chutney. Uh, yeah, it's like a flavored because there's different flavors. There's is it a sauce? What is it? You know how, like, if you were to have pork, you would have applesauce. Well, yeah, just imagine chutney is like a thick condiment thing to have with curry. People like it. You sort of put a spoonful or two, or maybe a few spoonfuls, to the side, and then, when you're eating it all, you take a little bit at a time and you eat it with. Like how randomly my brain went to wasabi. Like, you don't use all of it, you just take a little bit of it and you eat it with the rest of the food. It's to accompany the food. Was that the word I was going for? I guess. I mention it, but I've never actually had kind of a seasoning. You just don't put it on top of anything. It's just to go to the side. Wait, is that how? I've always viewed seasonings as something you put over food, but it just goes to the side. You have it along with. But yeah, I suppose that's also the term of seasoning, is something to go with. Yeah. Oh, I was right then. Yeah. It's more of like a side thing. But I tend not to have it because that's not my cup of tea. Oh, thanks. My back telling me sit up. Don't you love getting jolts up up your back? I'm sitting up for a bit because I don't want jolts. They are not fun. It's because I've been lifting heavier things these past few days and it's made my body stiff. Oh, I will stretch though, because I haven't stretched in a while. Hang on. Oh. Whoa. Sit-ups. Things I have not done in a long while. Like, yeah, my stretches are just like, uh, hold the arm to either side. So left will go right. Hold it with the other arm and twist and hold it in place. So it sort of stretches it a bit there. I do that with both. And then stretch the leg fully. God, it's hard to describe the leg stretch. Just leg stretches. Like I go down low, but the leg is fully stretched out. And again, that makes it limber up. And then I fold my legs, well, one at a time, but I fold my legs fully backwards, and I just hold it. Yeah, yeah, I do proper ones. I do those. And after I've like stretched everything, I like jump briefly a few times to give a good shake to the body. It's always helped me. I've never like pulled anything when I've stretched like that. Like if I'm lifting something heavy, I always make sure to do, as in like super heavy. I do those stretches and yeah. Sit-ups though. Wait. I always get confused between sit-ups and pull-ups. No, pull-ups is literally how it sounds. It pulls up. So sit-ups is the one where you're still facing forwards, aren't you? Am I thinking of push-ups? Is push-ups where your face is to the floor and you're basically pushing yourself up? Oh, I probably can't do pull-ups either. I do not have the muscle in my arm. Okay. And sit-ups is the thing that always shakes the living daylights out of my body when I try, because again, very little muscle. Very little fat as well, but yeah, my muscle of what there is like, oh, shake, 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 shake. It like jolts the body as I'm trying to like do one. It's quite funny. But yeah, I need to tone up more. Oh, I do squats every day. My work auto makes me do squats because I need to like squat down to get to things, especially if I'm putting stuff away. So it's broken up into little segments, but yeah, I usually do like I do many squats every day. My legs are not too shabby. Because a lot of the stuff I end up having to do when I'm working, yeah, is a lot of, well, yeah, squatting, crouching, stretching, lifting, lots of body movements, twisting at times. Yeah, it's just my upper part that's lacking, really. Like my arms and my wrists are very thin. I'm trying to build muscle on them, but again, I need to eat more as well, because like it's all good doing things to help improve muscle growth for where I want it to go, but it ain't gonna grow nothing if I don't supply it with stuff that it needs. So yeah, I need to do something about that. Yeah, I'm not a very heavy person. I'm like, what was I? 60 something kilograms or whatever, which is not very heavy. I'm not a very heavy person. Mm, does it take the energy of the fat? Is that why? I think I just need to give it the necessary nutrients, so to speak, so that it can, you know, make new muscle. It's funny how muscle gets formed though, because you're meant to do as sort of as much as you can within reason. Because it technically gets ripped apart and then heals, but in doing this method of ripping apart and then healing, it gets stronger. Muscles are very weird. But it's just mainly that I don't really eat much anyway. I don't eat breakfast. I like my sandwiches. Oh, sorry, I love my sandwiches. I will never give them up. If I ever get told to give up my sandwiches for the sake of some form of physique, I would just be like, absolutely not. uh, and then, yeah, I try not to really eat any sweets or snacks so that the body doesn't have any or too much crap within it. And then I have dinner. And yeah, dinner can be a range of things, so. Alright, it is a warmer day. No, I thought it was a cooler day today. Hmm. It was quite cold today, at least for my hands. My hands kept like freezing over. Hey, Needle Beastman. Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it is fairly late, so yeah. Hope you end up having a good rest. And I wish you sweet dreams. For when you doze off, obviously. Hello, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Also, other than it is a fun game to play, I think I know why like Stellar Blade ends up being like why I've played it so many times. It's the same with how 14 was. Because now and again when I do go back to 14, I always end up like trying a bunch of different outfits for a bit. Like I might mix up my what I'm wearing, and then I probably won't go back for a while. I don't know why. But yeah, having so many different looks is really nice. Even though obviously, like, it's sort of set in stone how you look. Although you can change your hair, which is really nice. But yeah, it's just... I like it in games when you have a lot of variety of what to wear. Especially if they're gonna have, like, a lot of interesting looks. Also, I find it funny with Eve's version of the... I've forgotten what it's bloody called. It's of the androids we end up, like, facing for a test. Like, we get their outfit, but, like, you look at them and there's certain details that have been changed, which are fine. It's also the only one to have a cape, which is also strange, because I kind of try to stay away from capes. The Incredibles taught me to fear capes. They just spell doom. They can get caught on so much. I wonder if a mini cape would be okay. Maybe. Yeah. Because the capes would always get caught in the Incredibles film, the first one. Although that's the only one I've seen, but I know there's more. But yeah, whenever it came to designing a new outfit, capes would always get mentioned, and then they're like she gives a list of all these people that have died because of a cape. It's just like, no cape. I just like that she goes on a tangent, listing each bugger who died to circumstances due to a cape. And just mentions so many, gets really heated, and then is like, no capes. The thing I actually quite liked about the first Incredibles film was that it actually felt kind of serious. Like, yes, it could be something kids could watch, but I don't know, it was just one of those things where it didn't feel very kiddie, if that makes sense. You know when films just feel like they are very childish? But yeah, that first film, well, it had its segments, I suppose, but overall it just felt very much kind of superhero-like, but the others just happened to be his family. So I was just like, I don't know. I think it's just how they interacted. It wasn't, it didn't feel watered down, and them being married and the way they acted was like not unusual. But yeah, it was nice to see the singular cape outfit in Stellar Blade. Although, as with what happens with the outfits in FF14, the it can alter the body, like your body, to some degree. Because you'll see some outfits where it's literally physically changed your shape somehow. And you're like, how? Like, 14's is funny. There's obviously, usually you don't have a bum. Nothing looks like you have a bum. But there are some pieces of clothing that give you a bum. And it's like, okay. And I feel like Stellar Blade does a similar thing. Some outfits honestly seem like they kind of change her physique. And I'm just like, is that like, is that Eve or is that the outfit? Hard to know. Because if you go from her original outfit, you can see the frame that she's got, because it's meant to be a skin-tight suit as well. So you can see how everything is shaped. But then you get some other outfits and they're like, they've either gone, not impossible to go smaller, but there are some that objectively makes things bigger, and then they're not even, nothing's even like covering it, so it's like, what's making this bigger? Hey Toby. Hello. It goes okay. I'd be tired, like you'd expect from a Wednesday. And I'm hungry, and I fancy curry. How are you? How 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 was rest? There we go. A broken up sleep. Our sleeps have been like very dozy. Yay! A nothing day. It's good to have those, especially if like you've either been busy or like you just yeah weren't able to rest well. Like my sleeps have been very off this week. It's like I'm able to sleep more. Like the direction it goes in is I sleep more, but I end up, I guess, getting the tail end of what I guess was a dream, and they're not very nice dreams, so don't want to have those. Uh, or I stay up later, which negates the dream, but then I'm more tired because I've stayed up longer. You had a weird dream as well. As long as it wasn't a nightmare. Or horrible in any way. Well, it's always a plus. Like, mine was technically like a horror or something, but it's not like I wake up sweating or feeling scared. It's more of just like it was very unpleasant kind of thing. brain has had some curry. Some glorious curry, which is cheeky because I fancy some curry. Wait, I just realised curry for was that curry for breakfast? I feel like curry is one of those things that you can have for breakfast. Same as like leftover pizza as well. Like there's certain foods that you wouldn't usually have in the morning sort of thing. But especially when they become like a leftover thing, they just seem good to have for the morning. Such tastiness. You'll make me growl. You'll make my stomach growl. Two books for a class. You need a portal thing. You just reach in the portal and it just brings you your book. Your books. Ah, that's fair. I mean, food is food after all. Like, technically I should really have breakfast. But I just can't eat that early. It's too early. Teleportation. Teleportation would be great. You don't have to pay to go in to go to any country. They're not gonna know that you shouldn't be there. Well, unless... If I remember rightly, especially with Japan, if you're wandering around, the police will come up to you and ask to see basically your paperwork for being on holiday or what have you. Which is really hilarious to me. They are Kindred and the Left Hand of Darkness. I have not read them, but they sound cool. You having pizza for lunch? Why is everyone having tasty food? If I get potato, oh my sweet mercy. Sweet mercy. It just seems to be their go-to item at the moment. And I'm like, stop giving me potato, please. I'd sooner have pasta. Books are great. Like, I like it when you read novels and such. And then say the book was, I don't know, 400 pages long or something. And now and again you might just get the odd like picture of stuff happening. I like those sort of things. Like I'm fine with a wall of text, but it's nice to have something break it up here and there. Like when I was in uni, I used to I took the time to, and this was when coffee shops were still okay. I used to go to a coffee shop and just have a hot chocolate because I don't drink coffee and their tea was crap. So I'd have a hot chocolate and I would just sit and read my book for a bit. Mainly because trying to do so in the house was it wasn't always quiet. So yeah, a hot chocolate with some whipped cream. But again, this is when probably I get it. I went to a coffee shop and I order a hot chocolate, but like I didn't want to drink uh, coffee. I've still not tried coffee, so I used to read some fantasy sci-fi books as a kid, but you fell off reading books. I mean, society hasn't really helped things in continuing to get, like, from a young age at least, people reading books. Like, maybe a super early age, they'll read books, but I feel like when you get to the teenage years, books suddenly become like, why would I bother reading a book sort of thing. Um, which is a shame because they still have plenty of information. And they they bring a very unique feeling as opposed to just reading something or the same thing online or something. Like, it's different. You're reading it, you're getting enthralled with what's going on. You can smell the print from the book. Like, oh, I don't know. I like it. I've had writer's block for a while. That that indeed is a tough one. Writer's block is a difficult thing to deal with. I've not written a book before. Um, However, I did write a thing for my friend back in college. Uh, I guess you'd call it a fanfic, but I took them and then I took a game character they really liked at the time and I just put them in scenarios that would make sense from the world. But I was just including them, so it was good fun. I even did some drawings for it as well, for like a title thing. And because I couldn't really colour at the time, I just gave it to them and said, can you colour this for me? Which was great because it looked really nice. So I was like, yay. Go to your uni coffee shop more often if there wasn't a line constantly out the door. Yeah. Kinda sucks, doesn't it? Like you just want to go in there and grab a quick something. If it ends up being kind of semi-empty, it feels a bit more enticing to sort of stay in there and read. Which is why I liked the shop I went to, because there were people there, but there was always like plenty of space to just grab a table and start reading. I will say though, I have no idea how to deal with writer's block. Like, I mean, it could be anything from like a new perspective or just sort of changing your environment up and seeing if anything like floods in kind of thing. Although that does require like time on your end. Like something that would break the mold of your routine sort of thing. They have really good avocado and cheese bagel, but you can almost never get it. I've I've never had avocado before. Like, what does it taste like? Because I know what it looks like, and I know people seem to have it with plenty of things. Um, I'm definitely hungry though. Usually get soda from there, and you don't want to wait 20 minutes for 2 cans. Understandable. All glorious. A description of something that I've never had. Because it always looks interesting. I'll put it that way. Like, a lot of the foods I end up liking are kind of very basic. Like, I usually don't need a mix of crazy things together. Like, for example, with curries, it tends to just be, here's the chicken, here's the sauce, and the rice. I'm happy with that. I don't need to mix anything in it. Although I know the sauce would probably, have spices and God knows what. But you know what I mean, of like adding in physical peppers or something, or a crap ton of onion or something. A soft say tries to think what say was meant to say. Oh, I made a pun. I made a pun. What say was trying to say. A semi-creamy texture and has a bit of a unique taste that's a bit fatty. I see. I mean, I don't see, but I'm gonna have to see. Oh, you know when you can have... Oh god, what are they usually? I, I, I think it's like a jacket potato with like bacon on it, and then melted cheese is on top of it. I know that used to be a popular thing, the way it was done. Ironically, it never went well with me, because it always like, it gave my stomach cramps or whatever every time. So I think it was the hot cheese. I don't know what it is with hot cheese, specifically melted hot cheese. Um, like I tend to be okay with cheese, but whenever it comes to the melted kind, I have to be careful. Or anyway. mean, I wonder if it's something to do with, like, it's still cooking or something. Because usually with restaurants, depending on how good the service is, uh, if they manage to make it all and it's still steaming hot, then chances are it's just been made. And yeah, it's something to do with it being piping hot melted cheese. Because, like cheese from a cheeseburger or what have you doesn't tend to hurt my stomach. But then again, burgers, if you're going from a fast food place, they're usually not really that fresh, are they? Like, they would have been sitting there for a while, probably. And it's different cheese anyway. Because restaurants aren't really going to use the good old slab of cheese that you'd find in a cheeseburger. They'll use actual cheese, I guess, is a way of putting it. But I'm not sure, like, it's hit and miss. Sometimes it does nothing to me, and then there are times where it just, like, feels like I have a stomach ache, and I'm just, like, uncomfortable. So yeah, it seems like a mixed bag. My eyes are very puffy there. My stomach has started growling. Whoa. Give me pizza. I can't say give me curry, because Rain has eaten the curry. Yeah, sorry. It hits around this sort of hour, and I'll just start talking about food because I get hungry. Goodness. Goodness. There's something I want to check, actually, other than my eyes being puffy. Oh wow, that's that's funny. I was checking the prices between Neo 3 and Code Vein 2. Like, basically similar. The thing is, they've gone open world with the game. I don't know how open Code Vein 2 is, but I don't think it's going to be like open world. I mean, it may be, I don't know. I get the feeling it's just going to be very large levels. You're back to not really playing. That's fine. I get their segments. I was getting like that in December, to be fair. I wasn't really in the mood to play anything until I started playing Atelier. I think it was December. There was definitely a point when I was just like, I don't really feel like playing anything. What are the specs this wants anyway? Mentioning at least 12 gigs of VRAM. That's expected, honestly. 125 gigs of storage space. Good sweet mercy. That's Neo 3, which makes sense. It's an open world game. I'm probably just gonna wait for that one to go on sale though. Because it'll be interesting. But Code Vein 2? Oh my mercy, I will destroy this thing. Code Vein 2. I didn't actually look at its specs. I hope they've optimized it nicely. I'm more leaning towards Code Vein 2 than Neo 3. See, 70 gigs of space. Much less than, like 50 gigs less than Neo 3. Oh, that's nice. They actually mention Intel's graphics card. That's rare. They mention a 3080. That's interesting. My old card was a 3080. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you kindly. That's the recommended specs, yeah. So its specs is technically trying to be higher than... I mean, it's always a grain of salt that you take specs for, because you don't know how it will ultimately run on your PC. But yeah, that is up there. But a 3080... Actually, it depends which version of the 3080, because there's two. There's one that has like 8 gigs, and then there's another one that has 12 gigs. Ironically, I thought mine was the 8 gig model, but after looking, I found out that mine was the 12 gig model. But this is probably something I will play, like, off stream, just because I will want to play it, and I'll have to keep stopping with stream, and it's gonna bug me and ruin the pacing. Actually, what were the specs for Stellar Blade? Because if I can... Because I know how Stellar runs on my PC with OBS. The Hogger. What were you wanting? So apparently the recommended is a 2060 Super or a 57RX. Sorry, 5700 RX XT. Oh, the XT is not... The RX isn't needed, the XT. A 2060 Super with this game? I mean, probably. Yeah. I mean, a Super is basically just, well, like the name implies, a souped up version. So the 2060 Super is probably more akin to like a I thought it was meant to be the TI versions, but I think they go a bit beyond the TI versions. So, say you had a 2060 and then you had a 2060 Ti. The Ti would be equivalent to probably like a 2070 almost. The Super would go a bit beyond that, I think. Usually the... Oh, no. I remember now. My bad, Toby. I remember how supers work. Supers usually just have more... You think it'd have more of everything, but it usually just has more VRAM. So if the 2060 had 8 gigs, then the Super would give it a few extra, so like 12 gigs or something like that. Hey Tech, welcome in. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the Supers are just like a buffed up RAM version, which, you know, they charge a premium for. And for some reason, yes, Tech, don't forget I mainly talk in the right ear. That's always been the case. I can't really put it on mono, because surprisingly the mono lowers the volume so much. Here you go. Here is your left ear. Do not fret, you have a left ear. It exists. It's awkward to alternate. Which doesn't help me, I know. The amount of people that just seem to talk generally. And I'm like, how? But yeah, Super's overly expensive for not much reason. In this day and age, at least. But yeah, if that's what Stella was wanting, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to try and play this while I have OBS. Or at the very least, OBS isn't necessarily the issue, it's my model. Because my model is already a game. I mean, for anyone that's been listening straight for like almost a year, well, yeah. But if you go in other people's stream, it's very normal to just talk normally in both. But I can't do that. Oh. Oh. Hot cocoa! It's because I mentioned hot chocolate earlier, isn't it? Enjoy your hot cocoa. Mad. It was tasty. I enjoyed it a lot. And I liked having the cream. I generally just eat the cream prior, but it did help cool it down, because remember I can't drink really hot beverages, so the cream helped quicken the cooling process. copies. I like that the total is near 2400. Woo! There's one of the ear copies. Oh. Goodness. Yeah, this is a combo of a wombo combo. Oh. Nom nom nom. What's in the stuffed crust? Is it cheese? Garlic? What is in there? Amazing cheese. I think my eye is getting puffy as a mix of like tiredness as well as hunger. It's like my body being like, go do things, and I'm just like, quit your jibber jabber. Oh yeah, there was a thing. When Starfield first came out, obviously it was kind of a big letdown for well, most people, because you know, new Bethesda IP in a very long time, so people were excited, and people weren't really feeling it, which is fair. I didn't mind it. I sort of enjoyed it, but it didn't really feel like there was much going on. One of the things people said was, just wait till there's a mod for Star Wars or something, and yeah, there is a mod for Star Wars, which basically just turns it into Star Wars. But it's not like it's just changing textures and sounds and all that stuff. Like, it's changed all the places as well, and it's added in all of the famous places from the films, and obviously the ones not in the films and stuff. Like, it's really impressive. It looks good, and it actually plays really well. The only thing is, the size of the mod is about... Remember, the size of Starfield itself is like 120 gigs, something like that. The mod is 300 gigs. But it literally makes everything Star Wars. And the mod is eventually going to add like proper missions as well that are Star Wars based, which is pretty cool. Yeah, pretty much. But like, I ended up seeing it, and I was like, this actually looks pretty cool. Like, I look forward to when they add in the mission stuff, because it's not very hard to make something more enticing than Starfield, to be honest. So, yeah. Once again, modders saving Bethesda's games. They always do. Because they always lay the foundation and the groundwork, and it's modders that actually make the game, which is... I don't know how to feel about that, honestly, but there's a reason Skyrim has stayed alive to this day. It ain't because Bethesda's game was so great. Like, it was good, but in this day and age, like, people wouldn't keep playing it if you couldn't play mods. So yeah. I don't know why some devs are so protective over having their game be modded. Like, yes, you might get something added in that you really don't like, but if people like your game enough, like, they're going to, like, just add the things that they love. It is crazy. And I don't hold much hope for Elder Scrolls 6, to be fair. I'm sure it's gonna seem interesting initially, but I ain't holding my breath. Bethesda is, I don't know. It makes what it wants to make, which is fine, but it's always... You've seen it as their games have gone on, like if you look at Morrowind and you just sort of go from there. Each game has progressively had less and less and less. So... But you can't really have less than Starfield because it didn't have much to begin with. So, we should be okay. Like, Elder Scrolls has so much lore. Literally, it really does. So I don't see how you can mess that up. Like... Oh wait, no, they already did release a game that virtually had nothing in. It was Fallout 76 when it first came out. Forgot about that. To be fair, if you go to Fallout 76 now, it's pretty much like a Fallout game. It's nice, but they they don't really look after it very well. Oh, on Starfield. Uh, yeah. That makes sense. That doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of people back then were just really upset that Bethesda released something that didn't really have much. Like, you make this absolutely massive, expansive sort of game to explore, and what do you get when you go to each planet? A copy pasta of maybe a particular type of building or ruin thing. Are they friendly? Yes or no? Uh, is there anything to explore to find on there? Not really. Bar like the odd planet where they bothered to make maybe a side mission. I feel that's what they should have done. They should have just had this, not necessarily a big sprawling place, but they should have spent their time, instead of doing a traditional, because they did have a DLC, instead of having a traditional thing that expands on something else, they should have just foregoed that and focused on adding a absolute metric ton of different, like, events, side missions, quests, these kind of things. Like, just keep adding over the years, and then we would have maybe had something like No Man's Sky, where it had very little to begin with, but then it now ends up having an absolute butt ton of stuff. So it could have turned into that. But no, it's just left to modders once again. So that's fine. Or stop knowing when I have food. Although I guess it's obvious I've muted and then I'm like just, you know, going wah, 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 wah. Food, he says. Food. Oh, and that's a thing as well. I forgot to mention with the Star Wars mod for Starfield. Because they were doing everything, you can also be different races as well. So you can end up being a Gungan if you wanted to. You can become Darth, Darth Jar Jar Binks. If you wanted to. There's also the other races in there as well. I just can't remember all of them. But yeah, there's a nice variety of aliens. I think that was the other thing as well. You're making a space game. What are the things that people like in space games? Like technology, in a sense. Exploration, definitely. The unknown, yes. Some type of horror of sorts, because it's space, yes. Like, another thing people would like with space is encountering new races, like different species, because that's also cool. And then what do? It's just populated by humans. What? Why? That's so boring. Like, how? But, yeah, that's also the thing that mod changes, because obviously Star Wars has loads of different alien creatures, and they're all there. So cool. Do you know what would be cool? If they somehow end up adding in pod racing, because there are vehicles in Starfield, like it's possible, and they have added speeders, so I wonder if they can eventually add pod racing as like a mission thingy and be like, become the champion. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I did not see the trailer, no. But I know there is a new pod racing game coming. Which, I wonder how that will go. Because I played one of them. I don't know which one I played in the past, but I played one of them. And it was good fun. So we shall see. It's weird that it takes them so long. Oh, obviously they also were showing that there's Star Wars Fates. Is it Fates or Fate? I think it's Fates. You're praying it's good. The last one you played was the old Windows 95 pod racing. There was a 95 pod racing? I don't know which version I played. I don't think it was the Windows 95 one, because I'm pretty sure I played it on the console. So it's probably like Star Wars Racer or something on the PS2. Something like that. Because there was a plethora of those sorts of spin-off games, in a sense, wasn't there? You had like Star Wars Racer, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, what else? My brain, my brain, my brain. You had the Clone Wars game, which was actually a lot of fun. You had the Assault Squadron 1, 2, and 3 on the GameCube, although those weren't spin-offs. Great games, by the way. You played the 95 one. what I played back on the Windows 95 was Slipstream 5000, which is basically pod racing. um, but yes, there's meant to be like Star Wars Fates or something. I think it's Fate. I think it's Star Wars Fate, because its whole title is like Star Wars Fate, and then down below it in very small writing for whatever reason, of the Old Republic. So I think it's going to be off of the console Old Republic games, not the MMO. So I look forward to that one. Well, Knights of the Old Republic was the console RPG games, which sort of had a tactical combat. I say tactical. You moved around in a 3D space, and you could say it was like a active time battle system. So it wasn't turn-based, but you know, it'd be like, "Huh," and then they'd go to do something, or depending on your speed, you'd be like, "Huh, huh, huh," and they would do their thing back. But you could pause the game and then line up attacks, or tell it to do things, or like be like, "Oh, go over here, do this thing, do that. Switch to a character, do this thing." So there was a tactical pause. That's why I say it was technically a tactical game rather than an action RPG sort of thing. But yeah, you had Knights of the Old Republic, and then Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Old Sith, I believe. Was it the Old Sith? Oh my god, it's been so long. Something like that. But yeah, I hope this one's a continuation of those things, because really great games. And then the next one of Knights of the Old Republic we had was the MMO thing, which changed the name slightly. You also remember Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2? That is quite a long name. Iro! I see the VIP. And congrats on the 35 stream streak. Very nice. Oh, thank you, thank you all. Let me do that now, because if I don't do it now, I'm probably going to forget. I swear someone else did actually redeem the VIP thing, and I've forgotten. So if someone did do that, then I apologize, because I've forgotten it. But I went looking through my list, because it pops up in my activity feed, and my feed doesn't disappear ever on OBS. So I was scrolling through it and I didn't see VIP, but I swear I remember someone doing it. Is it Roles Manager? It is. Cool. Time to add it all. And up the cost. Well, as there's only one listed here, I'm going to assume it's this one. Do I remember how long ago it was? Absolutely not. I scrolled through about 2 to 3 weeks worth of activity feed and I didn't see VIP again. That's if my brain didn't mistakenly not see it. I think someone redeemed it. I can't remember. But if they did, I've forgotten. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you kindly. Alright, let's just show this briefly. Yes, this is Edo. So this, yes, it all is. Do I need to refresh this page? Oh no, they're there. Okay. I don't know how long it takes to whack in, but I've whacked it on you, Hiro. If it doesn't show, it might need a refresh, or it might take a few minutes, I don't know. But I've done it. So yay. Oh, it's there. Cool! Or at least it's there for me. Oh, is it so that they see it? Okay. The feed only goes back 5 days at the mo. Oh, it was it's my feed in OBS. Sorry, it goes back. Oh, sorry, it's the feed that Stream Elements goes through. And yes, Stream Elements keeps information for what appears to be a lengthy time. So not like there's anything crazy there. You see it? Yeah. What do I say in these moments? Congrats on VIP? Welcome! Because VIP stands out a lot. Because most of the things just end up saying, you know, daily check-in or sub-redeem, that kind of thing. So it'd be quite... I feel like capitals of VIP, a limited time, and that would stand out. What was I doing? Oh yes, I remember what I was doing. It's a once a stream? Is it? Did I make it only once a stream? Wait, what do you mean? You're above... You're above it. Like, when I had to give you the sword, like, I had to, I didn't know what was working properly, so I had to, like, fiddle with things. It was awkward. Oh yeah, you can't have both. You can't have the sword and VIP at the same time. It won't let me, I don't think. Let me check. Yeah, you can't have. But the sword is higher, obviously, anyway, which is a given considering. What was I doing anyway? Oh, yes, I was going to do this thing. Time to up the price again. Let's see, that's 100, that's 1,000. Get rid of that one, then there you go. Save. Let's make it more expensive steadily. Yeah, I've seen that one once, but it basically has to be someone you completely and utterly trust with all your being, basically, because of the rights it gives for them to be a lead mod. So a very super trusted person. Does it let you deal? So lead mod basically can control the other mods. To be fair, it was still gonna be just me, but lead mod can unmod people and ban them. Wait, I thought normal mods can... Oh, you mean of other mods? Or do you... I thought people in... like sword people in general can ban people. No? Or is that dependent on me? Like the privileges I give. Yeah, you can't ban each other, but you can ban like non-mods. Hang on, my brain's going. Did I misread? No, I think I'm just losing my mind, apparently. But yes, congrats on your VIP, Hiro. Thank you for saving so many points for such a thing. Eventually I will like remove the VIP thingy so that the people who have it, you know, it gives like I don't know, if it feels nice to have kind of thing. Rarity, I can't think of words. I can't think of words. All I can think of is my stomach trying to kill me. They would be able to be banned after unmodded. Ah, okay. I know, they add a hammer. The thing is though, of what I've noticed, the hammer icon itself, because it's a hammer, like not just a simple hammer, like one-sided, it's a double-sided hammer. Its icon is a bit smaller than the sword, because obviously the image of the double end is bigger, so they had to make it smaller to fit in. So I'm just like, the sword stands out a lot for me, because it's big. I've seen it once the other day. It's a ban hammer. That is true. Basically, they are the law. That's why it's supposed to be like someone you super trust though, because it's basically like the right for someone to do near enough anything on a person's stream with that kind of power. Minus obviously a few other bits. Yeah. That's why it's like a very trusted thing. But yes, on that note, with a joyous occasion, I realise I ended up babbling for a long while. Apologies. Uh, Thursday will definitely be a day of just like deadness though. Especially if my eyes end up being like kind of puffy from the get-go, so I may end up just like closing them for half the time and doing stuff while that happens. But yeah, I'm hungry. Food is here. Uh, and yes, I have spaghetti bolognese with some garlic bread. Nom nom nom. So I'm going to enjoy that. I will look for where I can send you pasta. True, true. Is it bad that I always just think spaghetti? Like spaghetti's in its own field. Like I know it's pasta, but I I tend to just put it in its own field. I don't know why. Oh yes, alternating. I'm alternating. See? Look at me. Look at this alternating I'm doing today. Oh, I shall sorbs. I think it's also because, like, a lot of pasta tends to, like, hold the sauce that they get mixed with. but spaghetti kind of can't, because it's... I mean, it can, but you know what I mean. Like, it's so small anyway. Or thin, I should say. My brain had to work there. Whoosh. Whoosh. Where to send people. And oh, okay. There's only 4 today. I guess it is a bit early. Spaghetti is good. I do like spaghetti. You can't really go too wrong with spaghetti. Oh, we shall go somewhere. Sorry, my stomach's growling at me, and I'm like, look, just let me focus. Boutons. Got to love the counting in Italian. I approve. The brain is getting there slowly. It's trying to shut down. I'm trying to tell it no. Oh. We'll go right noodle for today. Oh. Good old Sari. Looks hard. But yes, Discord is there for those who are interested. YouTube is where my VODs and weekly video are kept. There we go. The raid message with the cozy looking little me is for subs, and the one with the hearts is if you're not subbed. Yeah, you can talk to the bot. It's a good one. It helps me. But do take care of yourselves. Thank you for being here. More ASMR tomorrow. Most likely low energy. But yeah. Have a good rest of your time. Bye bye.